What it do, baby? Y'all know what time it is. It is the network. Getting ready for a live lab here. I was doing a little bit of research on the convergence times for STP and Rstp, which is the different flavors of spanning tree. And again, there's more than just those two, but those were the two I was looking at. I guess we were kind of debating on whether the timers, or I'm sorry, the time that these two flavors of spanning tree converges, right? We got Gonzalo in the building. You are consistent with those views, Gonzalo. We got Paul B in the building. What's going on, Paul? So while I was doing that research, I came to the conclusion that STP, while STP can take 30 to 50 seconds to respond to a topology change, Rstp is typically able to respond to changes within 3 hello times. Remember, the hello times, I believe, is they're known as BPDUs, right? Bridge, what is that? Protocol data units. The default is 3 times 2 seconds. So the hellos is every 2 seconds. It's 3 times that, so that's 6 seconds that you can that it could start forwarding. So I was also looking at this. I believe this was from NetworkLessons.com. So the hello time is 2 seconds. The max age timer, that's how long it'll hold BPU information in its database. 10 times the hello for a common STP, or sometimes they call it classic spanning tree. Once a port is in blocking state, it stays there for 20 seconds, then moves on to listening at 15 seconds. Remember, we was talking about, we may pretend that it's a kid, right? First, he's blocking everything out. Like a bad kid, he's blocking everything out. And then once the child whisperer comes in, he starts listening. Then he starts learning from this child whisperer. And then he starts forwarding or regurgitating the information that he learned, right? So that's where you get 50 seconds before it starts forwarding for classic spanning tree. And now Rstp, there's all these different timers that you can kind of tweak. But by default, so moves on to learning at 15 seconds. But then again, I also saw it said, where is it at? It can start forwarding up to between 6 to 10 seconds by default. So now yesterday when we did that, when we were testing the timers, I want to say it took about 15 seconds before it started forwarding. Because remember, it was listening, learning, and then it started forwarding. So if that's the case, then listening, learning, forwarding. I didn't see the blocking when we did that. We would have had to done it real quick to catch that blocking. Maybe we could do that today. We'll run a show span today. But anyways, today's topic is configuring spanning tree protocol root bridges manually. We got Anderson Technologies Consulting in the building. What it do? What is going on, bro? Anderson Technologies Consulting. What do you consult in? Tell us about your business there, man. S Smooth in the building. We got BK in the house. S Smooth, you never told me what part of BK you from, dude. I know my brother lives out in Park Slope. My dad used to have a house in Canarsie years ago, and now he's back in Harlem. Lives in the same apartment for like damn near more than 40 years. Since before I was born, he was living in that apartment. But you know how it is in New York. People don't move. Anyway, for you guys that want to follow along, this is the book we are using, 101 Labs Cisco CCNA version 4. You can get it from 101labs.net. It is on the cover it says Learn by Doing, but this is the official title. It's authored by Paul Browning, co-authored by Farai Tafa. I love this book because you can read the theory all day long, right? Y'all see I'm reading theory and stuff like that, but unless you are, it's not practical. It's more useful when you are actually hands-on with the stuff that you read about and learned about. Y'all see I'm like trying to debate whether the timers and I'm looking at different forums and stuff like that. It's not until you are hands-on with this equipment. I do use GNS3 and stuff like that, but I also have hardware. But once you are more hands-on with it, that's how it starts. These topics and stuff, stick to your brain. So, S Smooth is in Flatbush. That's what's up, S Smooth. Yeah, that's as much as I know about Brooklyn. Yeah, my dad used to live used to have a house in Canarsie. My brother lives out there. Who else I got out there? It's pretty much it. I probably got some long lost cousins or family that lives in there, believe it or not. I'm of Haitian descent, so I know there's a large Haitian community in Brooklyn for sure. Large West Indian community over there too. Anyway, so if you do have this book, it is page 101 if you have version 4, right? If there's also some of these, I also noticed that there's an older version of this book. A lot of those labs are still in this same book, in the old version of this book. So you can still probably follow along as well if you have the old book. But it's lab number 23 in this book, and it's called Verifying Spanning Tree Port States on Catalyst Switches. Take that back. That was yesterday. We are doing today lab 24. Configuring spanning tree protocol, root bridges manually. Remember what a root bridge is, right? It's a I like to say root switch, even though the book says a root bridge. So you could have like 5 switches in the network, right? Before you get to the to go out to the internet, right? Let's say you have 5 switches on your network. One of them switches is going to be considered the root bridge or the root switch. So depending on what VLAN you're on or whatever, you have to go to the root bridge first before you leave the network. And that's what the root bridge does. And it's basically like the center of the network before you leave it, before you go out to your default gateway. That root switch could be your default gateway, depending on, how large your network is. But a lot of the traffic goes to the root switch or root bridge, they call it, before you go out to the default gateway and out to the internet, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to configure the root bridge manually. Now, this topology only calls for 2 switches. So if y'all want to go ahead and drag some switches on here to do that, let me move these guys over. Yoop. Yoink. Johnny, I really like spanning tree. Johnny, you might be alone on this one. A spanning tree is a super deep subject. I'm not really a big fan of it, but it is a very. I say I'm not a big fan of it because it is difficult. I like to this topic does not come very easy to me, so that's why I say I don't like it. I'm pretty sure that who was the person that invented it? I want to say her name was Rhea Perlman or something like that. She is I guess she's considered the founder of spanning tree, and it's like I said, it's a really, really, really deep subject. There's different flavors of spanning tree. You got multiple spanning tree. You got per VLAN spanning tree. You got the classic spanning tree. You got Rstp, and then like I was mentioning before, there's all these different timers you can tweak. But it's the best way to stop loops from happening at layer 2, right? S-Move, I'm like 10 minutes from Canarsie. I'm Haitian descent as well, my brother. Okay, that's what's up. Sac Passe, S-Move in the building. So I got my brother over here in the chat room over here. That's what's up. But yeah, Johnny, I'm not really a big fan of spanning tree. Not just because, it is great technology. It stops loops from happening. It does what it needs to do, but it is a very, very deep subject, and we could sit here and talk and debate, and talk about spanning tree for about 5 hours. But I don't want to do that to y'all. It's like 8 o'clock on a Tuesday, so let's go ahead and go with this lab. Let's drop 2 switches in here. If you guys got your Packet Tracy or Even G or GNS3 ready to go, go ahead and drop 2 switches here. Hopefully these switches, y'all know these switches been acting up on me. That's gonna be switch 1. The other guy's going to be switch 2. Switch 2. Anderson Technology started this small freelance IT company back in 2008, dabbling in help desk stuff, repairs, upgrades, expanding my horizons in the network world. That's what's up, Anderson. Thank you for the contributions in the IT field, man. Appreciate that, man. If you got a website or something like that, let us know what it is and stuff, man. I want to start my own business and stuff too. Not necessarily in IT, but I want to try to get into more. I want to get into real estate is what I'm trying to do. And also I've been dabbling a little bit more, stocks and stuff like that. Y'all know there's like this huge, and no, I'm not trying to ride the trends like everybody with Robinhood. Believe it or not, I said 2021 was going to be my year of investing and stuff like that. I downloaded the Robinhood app like last year around like November-ish, and I was like transferring funds. I was getting ready to do it, and I got one of my homeboys was trying to get me to do it, and finally got into it. And that's when this AMC and GameStop stuff started happening. So no, I'm not just riding the trends. I had it in the back of my mind for a while. So anyways, we're gonna connect switch 1 to switch 2 via gig 01. Your interfaces might be different. Again, let's get the labels up by this button right here, right? Based on the topology above, configure a host name on switch 1 and switch 2 and configure the VLANs listed. I'm going to power these bad boys on one at a time. Y'all know GNS3 been acting funny with me when I power them all at the same time. I'm going to console into that bad boy. How do you get the switches and routers for GNS3? Well, the appliances, there's a lot of them that are already built in, right? So, for example, these guys are already built in. The VPCS, that's basically a computer. We got this NAT cloud. We got this frame relay switch. These are already built in. The ones that that ATM switch is there. These are the ones that are custom that I built, that I got myself, right? So the appliances, if you go to gns3.com, you can get the appliances, right? So that's like basically like that, not image, but that device right there. You get the appliances from gns3.com, I believe it is, or like the marketplace at gns3.com. The images, though, you have to get on your own. So you either have to have a Cisco account. I work for a Cisco partner, or I work for a company that has a Cisco account. We can download like Cisco licenses and stuff like that, or you can just do it the shady way and just go online, and you'll be able to find those images. All right. So yes, you can do that. I'm not condoning it, but yes, you can find those images. Anyway, task 1, we are consoled into switch 1. It is booting up super slowly, and this is the reason why I wanted to wait for a bit too. You're welcome. Currently training in Java and soon JavaScript. One day we'll build my own site. That's what's up, Anderson. Oh, bro, wait. Yeah, we can do it the Broadway, Gonzalo. you know what it is, but like I said, I'm getting these legit images, so don't put me in that category, Gonzalo. Shout out to Buenos Aires in the building. Y'all hit me with that like button, man. Y'all run that like button, man, so that way we get more people to join us and stuff like that. We get more smarter people than me to talk about spanning tree. We're gonna try to knock this out, right? So we said we wanted to name this guy Switch 1. We'll go to global config mode. This should be really easy, right? Just host name and then the name of the switch. So it was SW1. And then configure the VLANs listed. So they want us to configure VLAN 2010. Y'all can see that, right? 2010, 2020, 2030, and 2040, which is the sales VLAN, managers VLAN, engineers VLAN, and the support VLAN. And we're going to put them in their respective ports. My ports are gigabit Ethernet ports. So we're going to do, it says FA05, 6, 7, and 8. I have, what ports do I have? Show interface status, and let's turn on that. So I'm gonna do those ports right there, the first 5 ports. I don't want to do that gigabit Ethernet port because that's gonna be my trunking port, and I believe that's what I'm gonna use for my root bridge. So I'm gonna do gig 02, 03, 10, 11, and 12. Because then after that we're gonna have to change the we got to change the one of them, the trunk, which is going to be this interface right here. We're going to make that one trunk. So let's create those VLANs. Close this overview. And in the meantime, I'll power this bad boy on in the background. Anderson's laughing his ass off over here. Y'all, you know, I'll just be talking shit, y'all. So don't mind me. Interface, we'll create the VLANs, right? So VLAN 2010, that name is sales. We've done this a million times these past couple weeks, right? We learned how to do VLANs already, right? 2020, name is managers. Fat Finger Squad in the building. Don't let me make any mistakes, y'all. Point out any mistakes I make. VLAN 2030 is the engineers VLAN. Name engineers. And y'all see I created those VLANs. I created those VLANs, right? So if I do a show VLAN brief, show VLAN brief. Y'all didn't catch that mistake, did y'all? Oh, it did create them. It did create them. I thought I would have had to get out of VLAN config mode for them to be created. But anyways, It didn't create the engineer's VLAN just yet. Interesting. So let's create a did I do that yet? Yeah, I did VLAN 2030. Name engineers. Y'all see engineers is not there yet though, right? Do show Vlan Brief. Engineers is not there yet. So now if we get out of that mode and do VLAN 2040 and then do a show Vlan Brief. Now it created VLAN 2030. Y'all see when it decides to create it? Once you get out of that VLAN or go to another mode or whatever, or VLAN config mode altogether. So now VLAN 2040 is the support VLAN. Name sname, because I can't type. Name support. And we do a show VLAN Brief. I want to get that login console out of the way. Let me get that out of the way. I hate that. No, I don't want to. I want to keep that. Let's just do line console. What I want to do is make sure it doesn't break my typing. So we do logging synchronous. I forgot about that command. What else we need to do? We need to put these ports in their respective VLANs. But remember, I don't have those ports. I've got gigabit Ethernet ports, and they're in there differently. So show interface status. Again, you guys can do this on Packet Tracer, even GNS3, CML, whatever floats your boat. So you guys can follow along. It's just your interfaces might be different, right? So I'm gonna do gig 2 and 3, 1 0, 1 1, and 1 2. So I'm gonna do gig 0 2 and put that in the sales VLAN, right? Interface gig, what I say, 0 2, 0/2. Hobie, yeah, that's on the old Catalyst Cat OS switches that you need to get out of VLAN database. Okay, didn't know that. I thought you could. I thought it was like that with the new ones too. So we just do switch port access VLAN 2010 to put that one in that VLAN. We're gonna put 03 in 2020 VLAN. So interface gig 03 switch port access VLAN 2020. We said gig 1 0 in the next VLAN and 1 1 in the next VLAN. So 1 0 gig 1. If you have any questions, put it in the chat. We got some smart people in the room. As you can see, we got my man Paul B knows the different flavors of what does what. So ask Paul if anything. Gig 1 0 access VLAN 2030. Like I said, I don't know everything. I'm just kind of like learning as I'm doing this. I mean, this stuff I know, but I'm just saying a lot of these labs, like some of the stuff that I don't remember. I'm doing a lot of refreshers. Y'all just happen to. I'm just doing it along with you guys, and I'm learning at the same time. Like like what Paul was telling me. Like I didn't know that it was the older version that do that. I thought the newer versions that do that too. So I'm kind of learning along as I'm doing this. I'm not just teaching you guys, right? So interface gig. What I said, not 1 0. The next one was 1 1. Switch port access VLAN 2040. I don't know if I had to hard code those guys as access ports or not. Let's just do a show run interface gig 1 1 and see what he is. Yeah, he's in access VLAN 2040. But let's I think I needed to put those. Let's see. Do I need to hard code that as an access port? Interface gig 1 1, right? And just do switch port mode access and then do a show run interface gig 1 1. Okay, so now that one's hard coded as an access port. I probably should do the rest of them as that as well, because they didn't say whether they wanted those, but it's good practice to do that. So even though we're not going to have anything connected to those ports, let me just do that. I don't know much. I'm an ongoing learner. Hey, we're all ongoing learners. Even if you can verify. We got Kelvin in the building. Show interfaces switch port. Yes, you can do that as well. That's true. By adding the switch port at the end. So gig 1 0. Is that? Yeah. Let me just do that with all of them then. Once that's 0. So yeah, we're all learners if that's the case, man. Because even when you get certain certifications, man, you're still going to be learning, and you still need to constantly learn because technology evolves, right? So even when you think you know everything, there's a new, computer language that comes out, or, some sort of new technology that comes out. Like for example, cloud computing is now the big thing, right? We got AWS and Azure. Like these old school network engineers from back in the day, they need to stop, just learning about frame relay and stuff like that, right? Nowadays, everything's moving over to the cloud, so you gotta have some sort of knowledge about cloud, right? So, like I said, technology is always evolving. Us as IT professionals, we're always gonna have to learn, basically. So we did gig 10. I need to do. Let's do the range 2 and 3. Interface range 2 and 3. 2 through 3, and then just switch port mode access. We need to hurry up and move on, right? So let's do a right and do what Kevin was saying, right? Oh, please don't tell me. Okay, I thought that was about to crash or something. Show interface gig. Let's just look at one of those, right? Gig 1, 1. And then put a switch port at the end like Kelvin was saying. And you can see right there that is hard-coded as an access port with this right here. Static access, right? I just wasn't sure if we needed to put that in access port. Switch 2. Let's see if he decided to wake up. After we configure the VLANs, we are going to the configure the switches, support the VLANs in the listed in the topology, which we did. Configure the VLANs so that they are visible on both switches. I guess I could have made this one. I could have created a VLAN VTP domain and have those VLANs propagate across that, but I'm not gonna do all of that, man. Let's just do it manually. Let's just do it manually. So what we did on this side, do it on the other side. Y'all with me so far? Danny, if 1,000 VLANs isn't enough for you, hold on. Let me see. I was studying for the CCNA. That's what's up, Johnny. But I want to get into networking fundamentals, Microsoft first. Okay, well, you'll definitely get some fundamentals over here. What's the purpose of extended VLANs? In case you want to get more, yeah, exactly what Kelvin said. If you need more than 1,000 VLANs, so VLANs 1 through 1,005 are considered standard VLANs. 1,006 through 4,094 are considered extended VLANs. So just like Kelvin said, if you need more than 1,000 VLANs, which if you work for a large, enterprise, then you're gonna need some extended VLANs. That's basically what it is. Paul B 100. If 1,000 VLANs, yeah. So the extended VLANs range also gets used to certain internal processes. Now, see that I didn't know, Kelvin. I always learn a lot from Kelvin over there. That I didn't know, but yeah. So again, the standard VLANs are from 1 through 1,005. 1,001 through 1,005 are built-in data VLANs, but you can't modify them, you can't delete them or nothing like that. They just from networking technology from back in the day, like FIDI network and token network and stuff like that, right? And then from VLAN 1006 through 4094, again, those are considered the extended VLANs. And as Kelvin said, they have they get used for internal processes. So again, we got to do the same thing we did on the other switch. Switch 2, host name, right? We wanted to create those VLANs. VLAN 2010 is the sales VLAN. Name sales. Oh, names. There's only one name, buddy. VLAN 2020 is the manager's VLAN. VLAN 2030 is the engineer's VLAN, and VLAN 2040 is the support VLAN. We can check our work with Vlan Brief. Then we got to put some ports in those VLANs, right? These are the ones that I was talking about that are built in. You can't do nothing with them. 1002, my bad. So 1002 through 1005, right? These are the ones we just created. So these are pretty much extended VLANs, as Daniel was mentioning. Extended VLANs are enabled in VTP transparent mode. Not necessarily, Brian, because notice we got VLAN 2020, 2010. We got VLANs in a 2000 VLAN, right? But if we do a show VTP status, you can see we are in server mode. See? So not necessarily in transparent mode. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, you can create those. You see, and they're active right there. See? So what else are we gonna do? We need to put some ports in those VLANs, right? So we are going to do interface status. Y'all run me with that like button, man. If y'all want to see some more of this stuff, you know, let me know. Let me know what topics y'all want to see as well. Again, we'll be using, for those of you guys that just walked in, we're using this book, 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4. You can get a copy of this book from 101labs.net. Learn by doing. Authored by Paul Browning, co-authored by Farai Tafa. You could also, there's going to be a link down in the description box down below, and then it'll take you to Amazon to get it. So it's just faster for me to get stuff from Amazon Prime and things like that. So on old switches, I guess. Yeah, I guess on old switches. I'm not sure. But let's see. Let's put these 5. We needed 4 ports in those VLANs, right? 2 and 3. 1 and 0. Not 2 and 3, 1 and 0, but y'all know what I meant. Wanted to keep a note here. I said these are the ones that I'm gonna put. So gig 02 and 03. Switch port mode. Oh, let's see what Kelvin was talking about. Let's see what it shows as that port for gig 02 real quick. Show interface gig 0/2 switch port, and it is set to dynamic auto is the administrative mode. I guess that's a trunk, but I wanted to make it an access port. So all of these ports are trunking automatically is what happened there? Is that how they come in by default? Next topic, NTP. Brian, we're going to do NTP in, let's see. I know there's an NTP subject in this book. And if they do, I really do love this book, man. Let's see, Brian. Shout out to Brian all the way in India. Keep forgetting what part of India you from, Brian. Let's see. I know there's NTP in this book, right? I don't see NTP in here. Could have sworn I seen NTP in here, though. Configure a wireless controller. VTP. Securing VTP domains. No. You know what, Brian? I got you, though, man. It's not in this book, but we'll do an NTP lab. It might be from like Boston Net Sim or something like that. But I might do that on the weekend because on the weekdays I want to do this book right here. So go back to switch port 02, and we want to put that in access mode and also put it in its respective port. So interface gig 0/2 switch port mode access switch port access VLAN. We said 2010, and then let's see what happens to it. Gig 02. Oh, I meant to put switch port at the end of that. And now it's showing static access. Whereas before, okay, so switch port enabled. So I'm glad you got me to use that command there, Kelvin. So by default, switch port is not on. Oh, yeah, switch port is enabled. No, let me see. Is that what it was? Operation mode down. Okay, so switch port was enabled. That was before I put it in access mode, right? Yes, it was. Switch port enabled, but the administrative mode was set to dynamic auto. Once we hard-coded it as an access port, it said administrative mode was static access. Okay, so they must be trunking by default. He's in Mumbai, that's right. Hey, how similar are these labs compared to some of the tasks you need to do for your real job? Pretty similar. There's this one guy that's always asking me, So we have this feature called well, we just have like different stuff in separate VLANs, right? Sometimes, you know, we might have a user move a computer and move it to a different port. And they're like, well, I can't get to the internet, or I can't reach these certain resources. So we got to move some ports in specific VLANs. Or it could be maybe a switch might have died and then we didn't save the running configuration. So we got to move ports back in certain VLANs. So yes, I do this at work too. Good question, Pete. Wi-Fi and WAN tech. Yeah, we'll probably be doing some Wi-Fi stuff. In this book, there is stuff where we could configure a wireless controller. There's only so much you could do with like packet tracer and these simulators though. So, but yeah, so Lab 37, installing a wireless access point. So that's why I love this book, man. I'm telling y'all get you a copy of this book, man. So yes, Danny, to answer your question, we'll be doing some Wi-Fi stuff as well. And there's obviously some wide area network stuff that we'll get from this book also. So let's go ahead and move on. I keep talking y'all ear off over here, man. Gig 03 needs to be in VLAN 2020. Gig, what was the other port? I wrote it down because I got a short memory. So that's gonna be in 2030, and that's gonna be in 2040. So, gig 10 and 11. Switch port access, VLAN 2030. Switch port mode access. And then the last one was gig 11. Switch port access VLAN 2040. Switch port access. Switch port mode access. Right, mem. Should be acting up when you copy the running configuration. So there's two ways to save it, right? You just do write memory or copy run start. Thanks for the answer. That gives me some confidence. Love your stuff. Appreciate that, Pete. Dope. That is correct. So yes, yeah, there's no such thing as a dumb question. I keep telling y'all that, man. I mean, like I said, I'm learning every day. I learned from Kelvin a lot in here. Paul helps me out a lot in here. So we got a bunch of like-minded individuals in there. If I'm not able to answer real quick, because I can't, you know, try to configure the stuff and then look at the screen at the same time what y'all trying to ask me. But we got some smart people in the live chat as well that can help out. So task 2, configure the switches to support VLAN. We did that. Configure the VLANs to support to check that they are visible on both switches. Manually set the interface to trunk on one side. So let's go to switch 1 and trunk this side of the interface. I mean that side of the trunk. So that's what they're talking about. This is going to be a trunk port. Manually set this to configure. Hard coded as a trunk basically. That side is most likely going to be auto, but let's check though, right? So gig 01. I guess I can keep that as a note. Gig 01, what is his show interface? Gig/01 switch port. We can see he's set to dynamic auto, right? So should negotiate, but then it might be on half duplex, I believe. No, that was router that other day. So let's just see. We're gonna make this side of the link to trunk, right? Y'all know what trunking is, right? Basically, all the VLANs can come across that trunk, right? Whereas these other ports that we created, they're in one specific trunk. So gig 1. See, I got a different labeling right here, but remember, I'll show y'all real quick. Jesus Christ. Come on, wake up, switch. Oh, don't do me like that, man. So Vlan Brief. Right, we got this port in that VLAN, this port in that VLAN, so on and so forth, right? Whereas gig 01, y'all see gig 01 is not in here, right? Gig 01 is going to be pretty much all the VLANs can come across its trunk, so or its interface. So we're going to go to global config mode, interface gig 0/1, and we're going to say switch port trunk encapsulation .1Q. right? Because we want to do the encapsulation first. Then we hard code it as a trunk with switch port mode trunk. So now it should be trunking. We can verify that with show interfaces trunk. And now you see right there, all the VLANs are allowed, right? So we manually set it to, and it's set to on. It is trunking. We go to switch 2. We don't have any issues with that. What else they wanted us to do? Manually set the interface to trunk on one side, which we just did. So task 3, we only got 4 tasks right here, right? And we're almost done. Sorry for talking you guys' ears off. Administrative trunking mode. I'm assuming you're trying to say administrative trunking mode. No negotiate will be more preferable. Yes, then negotiate. I learned from you. Hey, we all learn from each other, bro. Configure switch 1. Okay, this is what we came to do, I guess. Switch 1 as the root bridge for VLANs 2010 and 2030. And then configure switch 2 as the root bridge for VLANs 2020 and 2040. Use the second non-zero priority value for root bridges. You see, this is, I forgot who asked me that, but they asked me, they said they love spanning tree. This is the reason why I don't like spanning tree, because of these confusing questions here. So they said configure switch 1 as the root bridge. Remember, I like to say switch instead of root bridge. I hate when they call it that. But so let's say we had 10 switches here, right? And they need to go out to the internet or like go to another network via VLAN 2010. Then they're gonna have to go through switch 1 for VLAN 2010 as their root switch. So all the traffic that needs to leave out of the network to via VLAN 2010, they need to go through switch 1, and that's what we're doing here. It could be a switch, a dusty old switch in a closet, but regardless of the fact, it's gonna be the root bridge or the root switch, right? So it's going to be this, in other words, it's the center of the network for VLAN 2010. And that's what they want us to do here. So we go to global config mode. No, that's in switch 1. We need to go switch. That's switch 2. We need to go switch 1. So set it to be the root bridge. So I think you got to do spanning tree, if I'm not mistaken. And then you pick the VLAN. Yes, VLAN. And y'all notice, no shame in my game, I question mark through it because I don't know every single command. So, and like I said, you don't have, like back in the day, in the CCNA exam and the CCNP exam and stuff like that, they used to have these things called simlets where you actually got to configure stuff and run show commands and stuff like that. But you could also question mark, and that'll kind of help you process of elimination to see which command you got to do. But they don't got that no more. Nowadays, the CCNA exam, CCNP exam, and all those exams, they're all multiple choice, multiple answers. So. But like I said, I question mark through these anyway. So now we can put the VLAN, which was VLAN 2010. And then they want us to set it as the root switch. Y'all see how that is? It's pretty self-explanatory. So configure the switch as a root for VLAN 2010. And that's basically what it is, right? I didn't memorize this or anything like that. It's just process of elimination. Root, what else they want us to do? Configure the switch as the primary root for the spanning tree. But see, here's the thing. They want us to use the second non-priority value for root bridges. So we don't want to just set it as the root just with that. We want to set it with using the what's called the bridge priority number. So spanning tree, VLAN 10, priority, blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's correct, Brian. But here's the thing. They want us to, this is kind of a curveball right here. Use the second non-zero priority value. Remember, the priority values are I think it's 4096, forgot what that is. Priority, as the priority number. Or the bridge number, I can't remember what that number is, but it's 0, 4096, and then like 8092, and it's every 4096. I forgot what that number is, but so I don't think they want us to do it that way. They don't want us to do it that way, but we definitely need to put that VLAN there. Okay, so VLAN 2010, and then priority. There we go, right there. So yes, you was right. My bad, Brian. So yes, Brian was correct. You are very correct. It was after the priority. Then you put the priority number. And as you can see right there, bridge priority in increments of 4096. So the first priority is 0. So you can set it as 0. That'll make it the root switch. The second non-zero priority. Okay, so the first. Okay, so second non-zero priority. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? That is a tricky one right there. So we could do either 4090. We can't do 0, right? So they said the second non-zero. The next non-zero will be 4096. And the next one after that should be 4096 times 2, which I believe is 8090 something. 8092 maybe? I don't remember. 4096 times 2. 8192. So that's what you got to do. See, like, watch this if I try to put another number. Let's say 8190, right? It says you can't do that. And there goes the increments that we could use. So this is a 0 priority. That's not what they asked for. They said the second non-zero priority value. So this is the first non-zero. That's the second non-zero. And that's how I was able to come up with that number. Y'all see that? Y'all get that? 4069 and double it. That is correct, Danny. Except, yes, you corrected yourself. I caught that too. Fat Finger Squad in the building. But yes, the second non-zero will be 8092. So in this case, the full command that we needed to do for that VLAN is spanning tree VLAN 2010 priority 8192. So now it's going to be the root bridge for VLAN 2010, but they had us using that priority. Does that make any sense, guys? If you have any questions, Brian obviously knows what he's talking about, and so does Danny. So they can help you guys out also. So, but again, if you want to set the priorities, these are the increments you can use: 0, 4096, 8192, and so on and so forth. It's basically all them numbers doubled up. I mean, plus 4096. If that make any sense? So the next one was what is it? 2030. They want us to do the same thing for VLAN 2030. Set it as the root bridge for VLAN 2030. So spanning tree VLAN 2030 priority 8192. Right? So now we can verify our work with show spanning tree, and we'll do one VLAN at a time instead of just doing show spanning tree, because it's going to show us all the VLANs. We don't want to do that. So we just do show VLAN, show spanning tree VLAN 2010. And you can see now this bridge is the root for VLAN 2010. We set the priority to a non-zero priority. So it's 8192. But you notice the priority says 10202. Can anybody answer that question? Why is the priority 10202 when we set it 8192? That is y'all pop quiz for the day. Pete explained perfectly. Appreciate that, Pete. But I got some help from my boy Brian over there. Yes, sir. Hungry for this knowledge, man. Yep, appreciate that. So that's y'all pop quiz for the day. Why is the priority 10202 even though we manually set it to 8192? That is our pop quiz for the day. So let's check the other VLAN too. We did 2010. The other one was VLAN 2030. Right? 2030. Y'all run me with that like button if y'all like what y'all see so far, man. So this switch is now the bridge, the root bridge or root switch for VLAN 2030. As you can see right there. Our hello time is 2 seconds. Max age 20. These are default values, by the way. We're forwarding on all ports, right? Why? Because we're the root switch for this VLAN. And again, the priority is 10222. Why is that? Actually, this one is different. 10222. And the other one was 10202. Does anybody know why the priority is that, even though we set it to 8192? Johnny said VLAN ID plus the priority. So 2010 plus 8192. Johnny got it correct. Jay McLeod also got it correct. Brian McConnell all of you guys got it correct. So Danny, yes, you got it correct as well. That is correct. All of you guys got it correct. We got the Fat Finger Squad in the building, and all you guys got it right, man. That is correct. So the reason why it doesn't say 8192 is because it's the priority that is set to plus the VLAN number. So 8192 plus 2030 equals 1022. That is the reason why. So shout out to Johnny, Jay McLeod, Brian, and Danny for getting that correct. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me here, man. So yeah, so that is it. So we got switch 1, that's done correctly. Task 3, we're almost done here. We just need to do the same thing basically on switch 2, except we're going to do the root bridge for VLAN 2020 and VLAN 2040 as the root bridges. So let's remember, we have 4 VLANs on this switch, just to show you guys, right? So this switch is the root bridge for VLAN 2030 and VLAN 2010, right? He is the root bridge. As you can see, this bridge is the root, this bridge is the root. How self-explanatory is that, right? What about the other VLANs? VLAN 2020 for this switch. What is he going to show us? Let's see. Show span VLAN 20, what I said, 2020? The year, one of the worst years in the United States. Not I said 2020. 2010, 2030. Okay, so he is still the root though. Notice that he is still the root. Anybody know why? Even though we didn't set it as the root. We didn't touch the priority. We didn't do none of that. We didn't make him the root. Why is he the root? Can anybody answer that question? We might have to look at the other one. It says here that, yeah, so this is me right here. I'm saying we didn't set this bridge as the root, even though it says it's the root. We didn't manually do that. We manually did for this switch 2010 and 2030. We didn't do 2020 or 2040. We didn't touch those VLANs, right? Crickets. We'll figure that out. I guess maybe I need to show you output for the other switch, right? Let's just see though, right? So here's his MAC address. Maybe that's a clue. His MAC address starts with 0C53. We go to the other switch, and let's see what he's showing for his VLANs. Right? Let's just do show span VLAN 2020, right? Right there. So he is not the root. He's saying the other switch is the root. So right now we're in switch 2. He's saying the root switch is actually this guy right here, 0C53. That's his MAC address, right? Which was this guy right here, switch 1. Right? That's his MAC address. He's saying, yeah, for the root for that VLAN is actually switch 1, even though we didn't manually do that. Why is that? Anybody know why? Here's my switch 2. This is his VLAN. I mean, his MAC address. Lower MAC address. Paul got it correct. Shout out to Paul being in the building. He got that correct. This lower MAC address. That's the one who is the root switch. So basically, switch 1 has a lower MAC address than switch 2. That's why he automatically is the root bridge without us declaring him. So that is correct. That's Paul B. And yes, S Move got it correct too. What else? So that is so basically I want to say switch 1 is the root switch for all the VLANs. Let's see. Let's just do show span, right? Go back to switch 1 and let's see. Show span root. And we'll see he is the root bridge for all of them. Y'all see how I did that without having to just show span and then go through all that convoluted information? So basically, I am the root switch for VLAN 1, VLAN 2010, 2020, 2030, and 2040. So he's the root switch for all the VLANs, right? We're going to do switch 2 and make some changes to that. We're going to make him the root for, right here, what it says, 2020 and 2040. Y'all see that? It's 8:50 now. I said I wanted to try to knock these out in a half hour, but I guess I talked too much, so. And plus all these pop quizzes and all me talking shit and everything like that. So configure F. What am I doing here? Configure terminal. Yeah, I'll make sure y'all roll me with that like button, man. Interface. I mean, what am I doing? Spanning tree, VLAN, 2020, priority. We said the second non-zero priority value. Anybody remember what that is? No barbecue today. Too much snow. Paul, where you at, Paul? Paul was cooking some barbecue the other day, and we was sitting here trying to configure HSRP for like for damn near 4 hours. And Paul didn't give us no barbecue. But so we need to. Does anybody remember what the second non-zero priority value is? For anybody, the newbies that didn't answer yet. If anybody that just walked in late. Whatever happened to Chiari? Y'all remember Chiari? And she used to come in here. And you in here, Kiori? Paul B, you in New York. That's what's up, man. I used to live in Harlem. We got S Smooth over here in Brooklyn. We got a couple of people. You New York City? Too much snow. Man, that's why I'm down here in Orlando, Florida, man. It's cold over here too, though. Anybody remember any of the new people that just walked in? What is this? What is the second non-zero priority value for a root bridge that you can use? We had some people that answered that already. I just wanted to get somebody in here new. Pete got it right though. 8192. Appreciate that. So 8192. I know we already answered that. Pete, you might have already answered that too before, but it's all good. We need to move on, right? And we'll do the same thing for VLAN 2040, so we can get us out of here. Take us away. Take us to church. So now, if we do a show span for that VLAN, right? Show span VLAN 2020, and you can see now I am the root for that VLAN, right? And notice the priority changed. Before, for VLAN 2020, my priority was 34788. Does anybody know what that is? Well, I ain't gonna give you too many pop quizzes, but basically, the default priority is 32768, right? And then remember, we said that the priority or the bridge ID is the priority plus the VLAN ID, right? So 32768 plus 2020, which is the VLAN number, gives us the priority of 34788. But he is going to be the root bridge. So what is the priority for switch 1 in VLAN 2020? Let's see what his priority is, even though we made him the root. So we made him the root for VLAN 2020. He is actually, we can just do show span root, right? And that'll give us priorities too. Show span root. No, it doesn't give it. Yes, it does give it the priority. So now we are the root bridge for let's see. 2020 and 2040 was supposed to be. 2020, we're the root bridge. Where does it tell us that? Oh, here's process of elimination. We don't have a root port, so that lets us know we are the root bridge, right? We don't have a way to get to the root because we are the root for those VLANs. So we don't have a root port. That's one way to kind of see that. We got our timers right here, right? I'll probably do a tutorial on the separate timers. Like we'll sit here and be there. Like spanning tree could be like a 5-hour subject. Obviously, we're not gonna get too deep into it. We're just configuring root bridges as the manually here. So we are the root bridge for VLAN 2040 and 2020. There's nothing else that tells us immediately, but that's one clue to let us know we don't have a root port to the root bridge because we are the root bridge for those VLANs here. Hey, if you have a wireless LAN controller, a demonstration would be really helpful because wireless local area networks makes my head spin, and Packet Tracer does not support many controller features. For sure, Brian. I do have a wireless controller. I got two. What are these? 5500 series routers. I believe that's 5510s. So yes, I do have a video. I'll leave a link in the description below on some stuff that I did, some wireless LAN controllers actually. Believe it or not, I'll get you that in a second here. But task 4, verify your configuration with the appropriate show commands, which is what we did, right? Show spanning tree root. So we're going to wrap it up here pretty much. So let's go to switch 1 and do the same thing. Y'all see, this is what it looked like before. We were the root bridge for all of them, right? So we don't have a root port. We did not have a root port for these other VLANs, right? Why? Because we was a root switch for every VLAN. But now if we run that same command, show spanning tree root, now we've got root ports to the root switches for each of those respective VLANs, VLAN 2040 and 2010. So 2020, to get there, we got to take gig 01. To get to the root bridge for VLAN 2040, same thing. There's only one interface to get there anyway, so this would be the interface that we take to get to that root switch. Does that make any sense, you guys? Does anybody have any questions or anything like that? Brian, I'm gonna get you that video there. Again, we got this lab from 101 Labs Cisco CCNA version 4, Learn by Doing. You can get a copy of this book at 101labs.net. The author is Paul Browning, co-authored by Farai Tafa. I'll probably get this and do a giveaway or something like that. If you guys can get other people to tune in on these live streams here, get some people to help me get some more subscribers and stuff like that. I'll probably get me a book and do a giveaway if I reach a certain amount of subscribers and stuff like that. That's one of my goals too, to help people learn along with me and to teach more people about networking and stuff like that. What am I doing here? Let me get you. Also, cost is 0. Yes, the cost. So, Brian, that is the link to my wireless controllers video. Actually, that's just controllers. Let me get you the one with actual wireless controllers that I was actually doing. That's architectures, describe, wireless controllers. Yeah, I believe that was it right there. A DNA center. Yeah. But yes, what he was saying? Where is he at here? How would you ship it to India? No, the book. I'm talking about the book, bro. I'm not gonna ship my wireless controller. What's wrong with you, bro? But yes, I could ship that too as well. But I'm talking about the book. So, what hardware do you suggest for wireless controllers and APs? Me, I personally got, like I said, I got the 5510, I believe, series wireless controller. As far as access points, I got a 3700 model, 3702, I want to say it is. I got this for like $30 on eBay. This right here, 3702. I also have some, I want to say 1100 series APs in my, but those are super old. They only support like 2.4 gigahertz. I don't even think they do 5 gigahertz wireless range frequencies. But yeah, this is one that I was doing when I was doing my wireless videos. So if you go on my channel, you'll see a bunch of tutorials where I did a lot of experimenting hands-on with the access point. I actually, set up a wireless local area network. We set up a guest network, and then I connected a laptop, and I also connected my cell phone, and you can see the LED turn, I believe it's green when somebody connects or blue when somebody connects. I can't remember. But yeah, we broke it down, man. I broke down the steps on how to create a wireless controller, a wireless local area network from scratch. So if you want to check out that video, I'll probably put a link. Let me see. Yeah, I want to say that's it right there, if I'm not mistaken. But y'all see it on my channel. That should be the link for the wireless controllers video. Great stuff. I watched the videos again to further some understanding. Tried to follow, but had to reinstall Packet Tracer. Hey, it's all good. Anderson Technologies, DHL. Yes, I could DHL to you too, man. But Brian, I was talking about the book. I'll probably do a giveaway of a book soon if I get like a certain level of subscribers and stuff like that, and some more. Y'all run me with that like button so we get these videos and more people to watch and stuff like that. I was talking about the book too. Brian, I thought you was talking about shipping a wireless controller to you, bro. But yeah, if you guys want to know more about some wireless stuff, I got a bunch of tutorials on my channel. We pretty much wrapped it up, man. We kept it underneath an hour. I wanted to try to do these. This was only 2 switches here. I wanted to try to knock this out in a half hour, but I just talked too much shit. Anyways, for now, comment, like, subscribe to the network.